The stars on her skin. We'd only been together for 2 months, but she already felt like the missing piece I'd been waiting my whole life for. The most beautiful woman I'd ever met. Not just in her body, but in the way she laughed, the tilt of her head when she listened, the way she turned silence into comfort. She'd finally gotten her license, something I'd been nudging her toward. Teaching her how to drive had frayed my nerves, but when she passed, I felt like I'd won too. Now she could come to my apartment whenever she wanted. I lived alone, but with her, the space wasn't empty. It breathed. She'd set up a little art corner in my room, brushes and canvases scattered like a private galaxy. I loved watching her paint, lips trembling with concentration, brow wrinkled just slightly, fingers stained with color. That night after dinner, she went back to her canvas. An hour later, I wandered in. "How's it coming along?" I asked. She smiled. "Good, but I got sleepy after eating." "What are you painting?" Her eyes lit up. "Our idea. Remember? When we were talking about the stars and how I wanted to sit under the night sky with you." I remembered. I never forgot. "Every time I listen to our song," she said, stretching across the bed, "I see it so clearly." Something inside me cracked open. No words could hold the weight of what I felt in that moment. Only the sound we'd made our own, soft and playful. Ah, one syllable that somehow said everything. But I couldn't hold back anymore. I remembered all the little things she'd been afraid of. Roller coasters, scary movies, being yelled at, and sex. She'd never done it before. I had always respected her pace, never pressured her, but now respect mingled with hunger. My heart, my soul, my body, they all wanted her, needed her fully. "Do you have a marker?" I asked. She blinked. "Yes, in my box by the easel." "Why?" "Do you trust me?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "Yes." "Take your shirt off." Her breath caught, hesitation flickering across her face, but she obeyed. The lamplight fell across her pale skin, soft and delicate, almost glowing. She crossed her arms over herself, shy, but didn't stop me when I moved closer. "Lay down. Relax." "What are you going to do?" she asked, voice trembling. "Map the universe," I said. "From freckle to freckle, mole to mole, you're my sky tonight." Her smile trembled, nervous and trusting at once. She let her arms fall to her sides. This was the first time I had ever seen her naked, and it was more than I imagined. Her beautiful white skin, soft and delicate. I began connecting the little dots on her body as if she were my canvas. She laughed when the marker touched her skin, and I laughed as well. She could feel my hand trembling. I was extremely nervous, fighting hard to finish mapping the universe, but I couldn't wait anymore, and I wanted this to be special. When I finished, I looked into her eyes and whispered, "Show me your universe. Show me all of you. Give me all of you." She swallowed hard, then nodded. "Yes." Her voice was fragile, but her surrender was fierce. I leaned close, letting the warmth of my breath tease her skin. I traced a finger along her collarbone, pausing to watch her shiver. Every small gasp, every subtle movement made my pulse spike. I kissed the tip of her shoulder, lingering just long enough for her to want more, before moving slowly toward her neck. Her lips parted slightly as I nuzzled her, soft at first, then deeper, until she pulled me closer, hands hesitating, then gripping my arms, holding me like she was afraid I might disappear. My lips explored, tracing her jaw, the hollow of her throat, down to her chest, where her heartbeat drummed against me. Her body responded in a rhythm I hadn't had to teach, a rhythm that drew me closer, tethered us together without a word. I lingered on her stomach, brushing fingertips lightly across her skin, letting every touch linger, teasing her. I wanted her anticipation to build, wanted every nerve in her body to hum with awareness of me. Her breath had quickened, trembling, almost pleading, yet beautiful in its trust. When my lips pressed lower, she gasped, her legs tightening, then loosening again, surrendering to gravity, to desire, to me. "Drink me," she whispered, voice breaking with both fear and yearning. I smiled against her, already lost. Then drown me. Her moans filled the room, soft at first, teasing, then louder, carrying more surrender, more hunger. Each sound was a star igniting, each shiver a constellation forming beneath my hands, and in that moment, I didn't just want her body, I wanted her universe, every trembling part of her. When she reached release, her body shook, soft cries spilling into the room. I held her close, letting her come down slowly, tracing the arcs of her spine, the planes of her shoulders, grounding her in the warmth of my hands. But even as she relaxed, I felt a pull I couldn't ignore. I whispered against her ear, "Now, I want all of you." Her breath hitched, nervous but trusting, and I guided her gently, letting every motion be led by care, desire, and the rhythm we had found together. Sliding inside her, slow at first, we moved as if learning each other all over again, the way stars align in orbit, synchronized, inevitable, perfect. Every brush of skin against skin, every sigh, every moan drew us closer, not just physically but in a way that made the room disappear. Her gasps, her trembling, her surrender made me see her in ways nothing else could. Each moment became a constellation in the universe I had traced across her skin. When we finally slowed, bodies still intertwined, hearts racing but calm, I pressed my forehead to hers, feeling her pulse against mine. Her small, contented smile told me everything. She felt it too. This was more than desire. It was sacred, alive, stretching out past the edges of our bodies and into the spaces between our hearts. After we slowed even further, I traced my fingers along the marks of the constellations I had drawn on her skin, lingering over freckles and moles as if memorizing every star. She shivered softly under my touch, leaning into me, her warmth pressing against mine. Her hair fell across my chest, and I kissed the top of her head, feeling her sigh into me. The air between us was heavy with silence, but it wasn't empty. It was full of everything we had just shared, everything we had given each other in that moment. "I've never felt anything like that," she murmured, her voice husky but calm. "It's like you saw all of me." "You are all of you," I said softly, pressing my lips to her shoulder. "Every little piece." She rolled slightly, pulling me closer, and I felt the gentle curves of her body relax against mine. Our breaths matched, slow and steady now, but every brush of skin, every soft sigh still carried that electricity. Even in the quiet, there was a pulse, a heat that hummed between us. Her hands found mine, and we held each other in a way that didn't need words, just trust, connection, and presence. I kissed her temple, her cheek, each one a small promise. I saw her. I wanted her. I would stay with her here, in this universe we had created together. And as she nestled against me, eyes half closed, I whispered, "You are my universe." She smiled, tiny and content, still trembling in my arms, and I knew she felt it too. This wasn't just desire anymore. This was intimacy, sacred and alive, a living pulse between our hearts. Even later, when we drifted to sleep, the memory of her laughter, her surrender, her trust, and the way we had moved together stayed with me. Every constellation I had traced on her skin remained, not just on her body, but inside me,